Suicide Notes, Day 30. I think I figured out what Rankin's brand of crazy is. He's projecting or whatever they call it when you accuse someone else of being what you are. Personally, I call it being an asshole, but I guess they need to come up with a name that sounds more official. This morning I went to the bathroom to pee. I put it off as long as I could. You know, like when for whatever reason you don't want to get out of bed, so you lie there hoping the pee will just magically turn into steam or something, but it doesn't, and eventually you can't stand it anymore and have to get up. I lasted for maybe half an hour. Then it got to the point where I either had to get out of bed or pee in it. Frankly, I was tempted, but I just couldn't do it. I had to get up. And there was Rankin. I don't know how he always manages to be in the bathroom when I need to use it, but it's starting to freak me out. He's like one of those dogs who can sense when a person's having a seizure, only Rankin senses whenever I needed to pee. He was shaving at one of the sinks. I didn't look at him while I went to the urinal, even though he was literally right behind me. For a few seconds I actually expected to feel him come up behind me, but he stayed put. After I peed, I went to wash my hands. I figured I should say something, since Rankin seemed a little edgy. "Hey, about yesterday," I said. "It's no big deal. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to tell anyone about you." I figured that was kind of big of me, since he was the one who got all gay on me. I mean, I didn't start any of it. "About me?" he said, making that confused face he does when he doesn't understand something. "What about me?" "About how I said, "about what happened." He looked like I'd just called him a puppy killer or something. "Me?" he said. "I was going to say that I won't tell anyone about you." I couldn't believe it. He was the one who came into my room. He was the one who touched me, not the other way around. When I told him that, he shook his head. "No way, man," he said. "I'm not like that. I was just fooling around with you. It's not like there are any girls here to do it with or anything. If we weren't in here, it would never have happened." "There are girls here," I said. I was mad and I wanted to push him a little. He made a grunting sound. "None I'd go near," he said. "They're all whack jobs." "And what are you?" I asked him. "What am I?" "In case you hadn't noticed, we're all whack jobs." "I'm just saying," said Rankin. "It wasn't anything to get bent out of shape about, okay?" "Yeah," I said, washing my hands for like the sixth time. "Okay, I wasn't going to say anything anyway." He smiled a goofy smile. "Me neither," he said. "So we're good?" I nodded as I turned off the water. Rankin gave me this weird punch in the shoulder like we'd just scored a goal or something. Then he went back to shaving and I went back to my room. I waited until I was pretty sure he would be out of the bathroom before I went back for my shower. I still can't believe he thinks I'm the one with the problem. How is that even possible? Okay, so maybe I was the one who did the sucking, but he was the one who wanted it. I didn't. I just did it because he did. I can't even think about it right now. It makes me too mad. I'll deal with it later. Besides, there's other stuff on my mind, namely leaving. In my session with Cat Poop today, he reminded me that I'm 2/3 of the way through my 45 days. On the one hand, that makes it seem like time is flying by. On the other, I feel like I've been here for 30 years, not 30 days. "You didn't seem very excited about leaving when your parents talked about it yesterday," Cat Poop said. "How come?" I shrugged. I didn't know what to say, because here's the weird thing. Sometimes I wish I could stay here forever. It's like being in a castle with a moat around it. Sure, it's a castle filled with crazy people, but at least no one can get in unless we let them in. Of course, we can't get out either. But when you think about it, what's so great about being out there? There's too much out there that can hurt you. In here, you don't have to worry about it. You just have to worry about being molested by jocks. But like I said, I'm not thinking about that." Cat Poop tried another question on me. "What do you want your life to be like when you leave here?" he asked me. I thought about it for a minute. "I want to be so rich that I can buy my own island and live on it all by myself." You know what he said? "What about music? What about movies?" "I'll order them online," I said. "Food too. You can pretty much get anything online. Did you know you can even buy Black Widow spiders online?" "It's true. Amanda and I looked it up one day when we were talking about how you could kill someone and get away with it. Just hypothetically, of course. I have enough problems about being a psychopath. Or sociopath. I have enough problems without being a psychopath or sociopath, whatever. Anyway, Amanda thought you could get a whole bunch of Black Widows, put them in a box, and mail it to whoever you wanted to kill. And it turns out you can. They aren't even that expensive, something like $3 each." "Even friends?" Cat Poop said. "What do you think most people spend their time online doing?" I asked him. "Isn't that the whole point of the internet? That you can pretend to be someone else so that a bunch of other people will like you? Practically every kid in my school has their own website, and believe me, they make themselves sound a lot more interesting than they really are. Seriously, does Jamie Kaczynski really think anyone's going to believe the pictures her cousin took with his digital camera were used in the Venezuelan edition of 17? What about love? Cat Poop asked me, not answering my question. I'm getting kind of tired of him doing that. Personally, I think it's rude. What about it? I asked back. If you're all alone on the island, you won't have anyone there who loves you, he said. I think I'll survive somehow, I told him. Don't you ever want to be in love? He asked. I knew where he was going with that. Allie again. Man, he doesn't give up. I guess he thinks one of these days I won't realize what he's doing and spill the beans. Here's the clue, Cat Poop. There are no beans. What's love, anyway? I said. I think it's just something greeting card makers made up to try and get us to believe in it. Between you and me, I'd rather have an Xbox. Thankfully, my time was up right about then, and I escaped back to the ward, where it's mostly safe, Rankin being the exception. But I haven't seen him. He's probably in his room reading Sports Illustrated and not being gay. Later on, I told Sadie about my session with Cat Poop. What's his obsession with love? I asked her. I don't know, Sadie said, but I think love is really important. I thought for a minute that she was messing with me. Then she looked around, like she was making sure no one was listening, and whispered, Want to see something? She didn't wait for me to answer. Instead, she dug around in her pocket and pulled something out. It was a piece of paper. She unfolded it and handed it to me. It was a newspaper clipping. The headline was, Hero Rescues Girl from Watery Grave. I looked at Sadie. This is about you, I said. She nodded. Yeah, she said. I cut it out and kept it. I have a lot more at home. Sort of a suicide scrapbook, but this one's my favorite. Alongside the article was a picture of a man. He had a round, happy face and bright blue eyes. He was going bald, and he had a thick mustache. That's Sam, Sadie said, seeing me looking at the picture. The one who saved you? I asked her. She nodded. My guardian angel. At first I thought she was making a joke, but when I looked at her, I knew she wasn't. She was staring at the picture of Sam like it was a picture of Jesus or something. It creeped me out a little. Doesn't it make you depressed reading this over and over? I asked her. No, said Sadie, sounding surprised that I would even ask. It makes me happy. She brought her knees up and wrapped her arms around them. It makes me feel loved, she said. He loved me enough to save me. I followed her eyes to the picture of Sam. Did she really believe he loved her? He didn't even know her when he went in after her. She was just someone who needed saving. She was acting like he was her father or her boyfriend. I folded up the article again and handed it to her. Before she put it back in her pocket, she kissed it like it was a magic charm or something. I still can't believe she keeps that thing. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, and I don't understand why she thinks this guy, Sam, loves her. I mean, he was just doing the right thing. I think most people would jump in and try to help someone who was drowning. Or maybe not. Maybe some people would just stand there and watch. I guess that's why Sadie thinks this guy is so special. But it's still weird that she's all in love with him. I'm not sure who's crazier, her or Rankin. Right now, I'd say it's a tie.